Today I am reading from the book Spirit of Homeopathy, book written by Dr. Rajan Sankaran, and from the mind section, chapter number 24, delusion. There is a no large but little used portion of the mind chapter in our repertory. This is the section on delusion. Delusion are feelings which are not fully based on facts, but they are feeling nevertheless. The difference between delusion and feelings is that delusion are exaggerated, more fixed, and often expressed in terms of images. The idea of using delusion came to me when I found that the rubric unfortunate feeling and delusion unfortunate he is have the same remedy listed in the Kant's repertory. This led me to think that delusion unfortunate he is nothing but the feeling that he is unfortunate. I started studying the delusion rubrics and tried to understand what each delusion means in terms of feelings. Now, under heading Understanding a Delusion, one of the commonest delusions known to students of Mathematics is the delusion of Thuja, which reads in Fatak fixed idea, as if he is made up of glass. After reading this symptom, I was so sure that one day some patient would come and say, "Doctor, let me tell you a little secret. I am made up of glass." In fact, I was born in a glass factory. After all, if the symptom is recorded in the Materia Medica, I thought at least one patient must have it. But no one came with this symptom. Even in the literature, I hardly came across a case in which the symptom was found. When I asked a few homeopaths, they said that they felt this must be a sign of insanity and therefore it can be found only in insane people. However, from my present understanding that delusions are often only exaggerated of normal feeling, I have been able to use this symptom in many cases to prescribe Thuja. What feeling could that be which can make us feel as if we are made up of glass? I think it is the feeling on the part of the person that he is fragile. It is a feeling of being delicate, a brittle feeling. Not one has to cautious, otherwise otherwise something could break them. Pierre Schmidt give in synthetic repertory the symptom frail sensation of being. Frail means delicate or easily harmed. Also, after to the rubric of Kant's repertory, delusion body is brittle and delusion body is delicate. In some degree, many people have this feeling at same time or other. That is why they are careful when climbing down the stair or crossing the street or when walking on a slippery surface. This is the normal caution and the normal feeling of fragility. But in Thuja, such a feeling is exaggerated to very marked degree. It is expressed by the prover as if he is made up of glass. These are the words used to express such an exaggerated fragile feeling. Now under the label, how this delusion is expressed by patient. One Thuja patient reported that she was scared to go in a crowd. When asked why, she replied that she was afraid that someone may fall over her or step on her feet and cause her injury. Typical is the way another Thuja patient shakes hand. He extends only the tip of the finger forward, and even that with great caution, and his arm is tense as if he would have to withdraw it at any moment. It is a feeling as if the other person shake his hand too hard, he may not be able to bear it. Another expression of this feeling is to be seen in the patient who say, "Doctor, I hope your medicine are not so strong for me." Sometime at the second visit, the visibly anxious Thuja patient report, "Doctor, I took your medicine and they produce a lot of palpitation. I got scared and immediately I stopped the medicine." The feeling which she gets it as if some more dose could permanently injure her system. I see this as yet another expression of the delicate fragile feeling. This fragile feeling can extend to particular organ also. Thus, a patient may get a feeling that his heart is fragile, and if he exerts just a little bit more, it will break down, or if he eats a little extra fatty food, his heart will not bear it and will stop working. In Tuja, this fragile feeling is combined with another prominent feature, and that is fixity of idea. This fixity of idea is nothing but an exaggerated rigidity of thinking. To to some extent, all of us are rigid in our ideas. For example, we may have a notion that uh, all villagers are dull-headed. Such ideas remain fixed, but when we come in close touch with several villagers who are intelligent and observe that the facts are quite contrary to our belief, we will alter our ideas. But a Tuja patient remain fixed in his ideas, even if faced with very strong and proof to the contrary. There is an there is an anecdote about a lady who told her doctor that there was a cat in her abdomen. Cat in her abdomen. The doctors tried to explain that it was not possible, but they insist that she knew she had a cat in her abdomen. In order to pacify her, the doctor told her he would operate on her and remove the cat. He took her into the operation theater, anesthetized and her made a scar on her abdomen. When she came back to the consciousness, he pointed to the scare and said that he had removed a cat. She asked him, show her a cat. The doctor went out and somehow got hold of a cat and showed it to her. Oh, she said, this is the white cat. The cat I have in abdomen is black. Such are the fixed idea of the Thuja patient. Now more expression. Under label, more expression. When fixity of the idea is combined with the feeling of fragility, then there is a fixed idea of fragility. This is commonly seen in the patient who, despite undergoing several stress tests and even angiography, and despite all the results being negative, will still feel that the heart is delicate and he must be very cautious or it will stop working. He will go from one doctor to another and get his idea confirmed, and he will not fully believe a doctor who gives a negative report. Another example of this frail feeling is that patient who say, doctor, I avoid all sour things entirely. I know if I eat even a little sour, all my joint will start hurting. When you ask the patient if she had eaten sour and observed such an effect, she will say, no, I never ate sour things because I know I can't bear it. Here you get the combination of fixed idea and frail feeling. At this point, an important lesson that we must keep in mind is that all these feelings are within us, only they are found in an exaggerated and more persistent form in the disease. Unless we are able to recognize these feelings in ourselves, we cannot claim to have fully understood them in a remedy or in a patient. In other words, the feeling of remedy or the patient are not some strange feeling of particular kind of people, but modification of the feeling that exists in all of us. When we read a delusion, we must perceive that kind of feeling in us we exaggerated can lead to the delusion. Is there any who has not felt trapped or inferior at some time or other? Remedies can be better understood by experiencing their feelings. On studying the chapter on delusion, further I found that many of delusion have very few remedies, sometimes only one or two. On studying this remedy, I found that many expressions of the remedy are explained by the single delusion. Delusion is often main feeling expressing itself in a variety of variety of pattern. For example, delusion walk on his knees, delusion legs cut off, delusion laughed at. These are the delusion of Barata Carbonica. What did the prover means by this? He mean that he had an unreasonable fixed ideas feeling of person who walk on his knees with his leg cut off. He feels like a person who is not foot shorter than the he is 1 foot shorter than the rest of the world, handicapped, and that he is looked down upon, laughed at and ridiculed, and laughed and ridiculed. This is one of the main feeling of Barada Carbonica. Once one understands this main feeling, several other features of the Barada carb are explained. Now, a case example. The following is an interview with the 18-year-old girl who came with the problem of several pimples on her face. Symptoms are, or a conversation are, since when you have these pimples? Then she replied, more than a month. Now they come and go. It was even more than this. They keep coming. What other complaint or pain or burning you have? Yes, itching, no pain. Some pus after bursting with blood, no pain. I examined any reason why since more than 1 month. So she replied, no, not going now. Previously they would suppurate. I asked, any craving? She said, everything. Anything special you'd like? Flour and rice, means cauliflower. I asked, salt or sweet? She said, little sweet, salty, I like. What about appetite? No appetite, must have food on a time. What about thirst? It's okay. Hot or chilly? I'm both hot and chilly. What about sweat? It's less. Periods means what about menstruations? Otherwise normal and 2-3 days early. Now scanty. How do you sleep? Sleep on a back. What do you do? I was studying and temporarily working in a Indian Airlines as an office assistant. How is your nature? No reply and smile. Again question. I am mild, sometimes very angry. I don't strike but don't speak for 1 or 2 hours. As small child come and I become okay. I forget my anger. Now I ask, what else about your nature? Do you weep? And she said, if someone says something, I cry. On which matter do you get angry? No reply for a long time and just constant training. I again repeat the question. Give an example. Somebody reprimand me while, and does your face become oily? Suddenly physical questions to list reflex. I ask. Very very oily. Quick reply. You like company or to be alone? And she said, I like to be alone, don't like noise, I like silence, no problem to remain alone the whole day. And this was a spontaneous reply. Always silent and do some walk. You like to remain in a one place or move about? And she said, remain in a one place, do not like to go anywhere. What else you like to do? And she replied, when my work is over, I just sit alone. I again question, you like to talk? And she say, I like silence. Do you get dreams? I get very rarely. Tell me about your dreams. Silence, and how can I tell? She said, how can I tell? Good or bad? I ask, good or bad dreams, what? Dreams of water, whatever you have. Ask, tell me. And she said, yes, but why do you need to know all this? And I asked, tell me your dream, I will get you well. And she said, how can that be? We select medicine on basis of the dreams too. So she replied, dreams of water, trees, quarrels, etc. Tell me one thing, how are you? How are your menses? Then she said, first 2 days very dark menses. And do you feel fresh on waking? Sometimes I feel a burden on my head or on waking. Is there itching in the daytime or night? It is at always daytime. Are the pimples related to menses? She said, yes, more before and all the time since the last few months. What is your craving for food? I like cauliflower, radish, raw vegetable. This I like very much, but if I don't get them, it's okay. I asked, sleep on your back or side or stomach? She said, on the back. I asked, you like window open or closed? She says, close. My mother shout while I am not opening the window. Do you suppress your anger? And she tell, I never tell anyone. I feel like saying, but I never speak. How do you like sweets? I like little, too much, sometimes little or sometimes too much. What is your name? My name is Sehnas. I am giving a medicine for 10 days. Tell me how you are after 10 days. Then tell me how you are after 10 days. From the above interview, I could see the following. The girl was extremely reluctant to talk about her emotions and gave the impression that she was not used to talk about herself to anyone. The question she asked, why should I tell you all these things? Indirectly means, why are you taking interest in me, since no one else has even done so? The basic feeling is one of having no one to whom she can tell her feelings, or no one who cares to know about them. This is the feeling of being friendless. This was confirmed by all the behavior and activity like not going out, etc., despite her being in the prime of her life. So I choose friendless feeling as the main theme in the case and took the symptoms. Delusion that she is friendless, unfriendly humor, 4-second feeling, ailment from anger and vexation, company aversion to, food and drinks vegetable desire, introspection, sensitive to noise, talk indisposed to desire to silent and taciturny, thoughtfulness, dreams of forest, many trees and water, face eruptions, pimple, menses before aggravates. She is a very close person and will not speak out to anybody and prefer to be alone. Symbolic dreams of trees and water. From these rubrics, I came to the remedy Magmure, which not only removed the pimple but made change in her attitude too. Now, under the label feeling and reaction. Feeling and reactions makes two components of the same person's state of mind. We feel, hence we react. In reaction, we have a choice, which are exercised depend upon the circumstances, training and culture, etc. Thus, the range of reaction to the same feeling may be wide, but the feeling itself will be basic and unalterable. We can say that feelings are involuntary and uncontrollable, but the reactions are to some extent controllable and modifiable. Thus, it is easier to rely on the feeling much more than the reaction. Feelings are felt in the sphere of the patient in all the relationship he establishes with himself, his family, his society, and his doctor, his illness, etc. We have to observe and uncover them and perceive them. For example, the girl who had been taking my treatment for pimples for a long time came to me and said, Doctor, why am I not getting better? You don't want to make me alright? I asked, why should I not want to make you alright? She answered, you must have some kind of grudges against me. Otherwise, patients are getting better. Why am I not getting better? The feeling behind her statement is that you have the capacity as a doctor, but you are not treating me properly because you don't like me as much as others. You have to look at the feeling behind the statement. And when I examined her life from the past, I found that she was from a large family. She was engaged when she was 18-year-old, but engagement was broken for some reason. She had a sister, 1 year younger, who was more beautiful and was always given more attention. This sister had got married and had child now. Our patient had to struggle to get a proper value recognized in the family since childhood. So she needed to be quarrelsome out of jealousy. I gave her calcia sulfurica, which helped her a great deal, based on the following rubric: laminating, appreciation, she is not; appreciated, she is not; quarrelsome, jealousy, and on physical symptoms that were present in her case. This feeling of jealousy that I was given more attention to other patient made her quarrelsome and complaining with me. She behaved as if I was her father giving more attention to other patients than her, just as it was happening in her house. The way she spoke with the showed her feeling and her attitude to her situation. Here we can see that the feeling that she was not appreciated, that she was not valued, made her react in different situation in a particular way. Her reaction was perfectly in tune with her feeling. Thus, we can say that the delusion make the rest of the symptomatology meaningful and congruent. Not all delusions are equally important. We have to differentiate between two types of delusion. Now, under the label, which delusions are more important and why? When we define disease, we said that disease is the inability of person to react appropriate to his situation. For example, a man chased by a dog behave as if it were a lion. This is a delusion, and so he react in a way which is inappropriate to the actual situation. Thus, the delusion is his real disease. If the delusion goes away, then he will react normally. Example, he will see the dog merely as a dog and drive it away. The delusion is a person's viewpoint of the situation. It explains most of his reaction. It is his false perception of the situation. Expression like violence, laughing, anger, weeping, etc. can be common to many situations, but the feeling behind them will be different in each cases, and choices of the remedy will depend on the feeling which triggered these reactions rather than on the expressions themselves. The remedy which has the exact delusion will be the only one that will able to cure the patient. Here I shall introduce two new terms, incidental delusion and basic delusion. By incidental delusion, I mean the false perception of the patient in a specific situation, which is temporary and will pass off when the incident is over. For example, when starting a troublesome car, I am afraid of what may happen if it breaks down on the way. I have an abnormal fear that is out of proportion to the situation. It would be appropriate in a person going into the middle of a jungle. The delusion means example of the city being in a jungle is a temporary and hence incidentally. The reason why this delusion occur in this specific situation is because of the deeper delusion, namely a feeling that I may not be able to cope since the problem may be beyond my capacity. This false perception of the myself in relation to the situation and the resulting difference in the basis of the incidental delusion of being in a jungle means feels different. The delusion that I am in a situation which may be beyond my capacity to handle form the basic delusion and will be the basic of several different incidental delusion. However, the basic delusion will remain the same at all time and will be expressed in the several ways such as feelings like condition of okayness, hobbies, manners, speaking, and recurrent dreams. We have to try to find out the basic delusion of the patient. The key to case lies in the observing all the expression, how the person walk, talk, come to the clinic, narrate his complaint, etc. And then understand the feeling behind all this expression. The feeling that make him react in the particular way. We have to find out which way he perceived this situation. If we can find out, we so in the case of calcarea sulfurica and muriaticum, and now in the case of below, then we can get the center of the case and the remedy selection become accurate. Just as we saw in the chapter of component that we have basic parameters and expression, similarly delusion we have basic delusion and incidental delusion. This basic delusion will explain each and every feature of the case and will form the basis of various incidental delusion. From whichever direction you approach the patient, you will come to stop at the basic delusion. Such is its quality. Now, of the case example, a male engineer, 40 years of the age, came with a complaint of pain in the stomach and melena. He came from a family of doctor, and all the investigation had been done. A barium meal taken 10 years earlier has shown duodenal ulcer, for which he had taken allopathic treatment. He spoke of his physical problem, the numerous investigation done in great detail, giving precise date and detail of the treatment taken. He said, although all investigations are now normal, I still get acidity from even the most simple food. I am very careful about what I eat. I eat only boiled food, and for many years I have avoided all fried and spicy things. But there is always a fear that the melena will start again. Whenever I start, it starts suddenly. Everybody in the family takes the same food as I do, but only I am suffering. I was an ambitious person in the early stage of my career. I worked very hard. I was not particular about food and neglect my health a lot. I ate out and didn't care about when and what I was eating. Now I have become a cautious. My health problem have come in a way of advancement in my career. I have now reconciling myself to my fate and given up the all idea of advancement. I feel I cannot do what others can do. I have got a handicap. If I go to Madras or Bangalore, I carry my lunch with me. When I went to Japan, I was always searching for a milk. I had to refuse all the drinks and other luxurious things. The main fear is that it should not become a malignant. The doctor said that a duodenal ulcer will never become a malignant, but I still have this fear. Everybody tell me that eat everything, but I get into the trouble if I eat anything. The doctor say there are no restrictions, just avoid the food which give you problem. But everything give me a problem. I can't concentrate on my work. I have lost my memory and confidence. I don't feel like working. I am constantly thinking about my health. I want to get back to the $1 billion health at any cost. Without health, you cannot do anything. A poor man, if he is healthy, can at least enjoy good sleep. So I keep telling my son and daughter not to worry about their grades, but to take care of their health. I want to live happily, that is all. What do you attribute about problem? What do you attribute about problem? This is a question I asked. And he said, I kept neglecting my health. When there were a symptom, I should have done something about them. I came up very fast. I was very good student, precocious and ambitious. I could have taken a medicine or the engineering, but as I was good at math. I became an engineer through a. Though my family professionals are practicing in the medicine, I would have done better as a doctor. At least I could have looked after my health. In this case, all the expression of the patient was his lack of interest in his work, his feeling that he cannot fulfill his ambition. He regret at not becoming doctor. That advice to his children stemmed from the central feeling that in pushing his ambition, he had neglected his health, which accounted for his suffering now. I took the rubric delusion that he has ruined his health, fear that he has ruined his health. Both these rubrics have chelidonium as the only remedy. Taking the other rubrics like anxiety of conscience as if guilty of a crime, remorse, thoughts of disease, delusion that his disease is incurable, loquacity, work aversion to mental indolence, concentration difficult, and forgetfulness. I confirm these prescriptions incidentally. This delusion that he has ruined his health is not found in the Materia Medica but only in the Cant repertory. It is interesting to note that this man was not Choledium from birth. He was ambitious, precocious, and industrious, indicating the lycopodium. His ambitions made him neglect everything to come up in his competitive world. In this process, he neglected his health, and to such an extent that he went into the Choledium state. In order to that, his health gets more attention. In this case, we can see that whenever we knock, whatever approach we take, we keep coming back to the basic feeling that he has ruined his health. This feeling, though justified to some extent, is vastly exaggerated in the present context and hence become his basic delusion. This represents his view of himself and his situation, and from this stem all his feeling, reaction, condition, and compulsion. It is not all that we can find the rubric rapidly in the repertory. Often we have to search among various rubrics, including the ones under fear, sadness, etc. Indeed, we may have to search in the whole mind chapter to find a remedy which with the same delusion or its equivalent feeling. Even if we do not find such a rubric, our perception will depend through understanding the basic delusion of the patient. As we have seen in the chapter, health and disease. Disease is nothing but the basic delusion of the patients. Hence, by understanding what this delusion is, we go straight to the cure of the problem.